Digimon Frontier's 10 Ancient Warriors. The Digimon that gave their power to the Spirit Digimon of Digimon Frontier. They've been seen in different media, including the Digimon Frontier movie, well, some of them anyway, and have digivolved plenty. But if they were to appear in a new Digimon Frontier movie, for example, with the last 20 years of Digimon media to provide us new pre-evolutions for them, what would be the 10 Ancient Warriors' full evolution lines? What is up, digital companions? My name is Karn EX and welcome to your Easter video. It's about Frontier again. Armor fixing is not on hiatus necessarily. We are going to be doing it. It's just that unfortunately I moved into a new place. My budget has been severely limited. So we'll do one next Easter and also some this year. But if you want a fun Digimon fixing video, patreon.com/KarnEX. And if you want Easter eggs, don't worry. There'll be some Easter eggs littered throughout this video. So to me, the 10 Ancient Warriors controversially would not have Spirit Digimon in their evolution lines. They are the Digimon that gave their power to the Spirit Digimon. They connect to the 10 legendary spirits. Their power feeds into them. So while I don't think it's incorrect to use the spirits in their Digivolution lines, I think instead it makes sense to have the spirits be different. The spirits are almost like their children. They have the same DNA data, but I don't think their Digivolution lines would necessarily be the same. And that brings me to something else I want to talk about, and that is that the 10 Ancient Warriors are kind of Digimon Adventure references. Kind of. It's most obvious with AncientGreymon and AncientGarurumon. But then you look at AncientBeatmon and yeah, that's Kabuterimon. AncientIrismon is a girl and bird theme, so she's kind of like Abergele Biomon. AncientMegatheriumon's ice and woolly connection to Volcamon are very self-explanatory, and then the rest of them, well, we'll get to that. So in my mind, there are 10 Ancient Warriors and at least 8 original Digidestined. So I think we can connect almost all of these to an original Digidestined in some way, and their partner. I say original as in Digimon Adventure, not Daigo and Maki and such, although they could factor in if you wanted them to. So I want AncientGreymon, for example, to represent Adventure Greymon, but also kind of tie in to the whole Greymon species. And that's why I'm using it as my first example of how I do an evolution line. So for AncientGreymon's line, I am going to start with Agumon. Though I really did consider, given that the X antibodies are kind of more feral, that Agumon X could be a good rookie for AncientGreymon. That slightly more primal reversion, to use Pokemon terminology, feel of Agumon X would tie quite nicely to AncientGreymon. From there, we have to use Greymon himself. Would it be AncientGreymon if Greymon wasn't in his evolution line somehow? Though again, you could use Greymon X or GeoGreymon. That's why I'm actually going to switch things up a little bit with the ultimate level. AncientGreymon has wings, which Metal Greymon definitely does too. However, another prominent winged ultimate level Greymon is Rise Greymon. And I like Rise Greymon as an AncientGreymon Prevo. Also, Rise Greymon has an X antibody, so if we're going for that theme, that could work. This is one of these instances where I'm actually salty that something is a dubism, because Zoru Greymon as an AncientGreymon Prevo looks awesome. However, I am going to settle on Rise Greymon, and funnily enough, Rise Greymon is a Prevo of AncientGreymon on the Digimon Pendulum Z, so there's precedent for it. AncientGarurumon is similarly easy, the rookie being Gabumon or Gabumon X, the champion being Garurumon or Garurumon X. The reason I'm hesitant to use X antibodies is that unfortunately some Digimon Adventure partners that line up with the spirits have X antibody forms and some don't. AncientGarurumon is also sort of unfortunate because there are much less Garurumon species Digimon. You tend to get more variation in Garurumon at the mega level with things like Zeed and Cress. Unfortunately, there's much less choice for the champion and ultimate levels. We really just have like Garurumon, Black variants, Garurumon, and Psychmon, which you definitely could use here. So it's a little bit harder to incorporate the entire Garurumon species when there's just not as many Garurumon like there are Greymon, and this will be true for other Digimon in the Ancient Warriors too. Where Garurumon is the ultimate makes perfect sense to me, though I really also like Gaugamon. The Gaugamon family are actually meant to be a subspecies of Gazimon, not Gabumon. However, they fulfill the role in Digimon Data Squad almost exactly the same as Gabumon, and indeed in the Digimon Next manga, the Gaumon in that eventually becomes a Zeed Garurumon. I'm ultimately going to settle on Where Garurumon. I do want to use this opportunity to address that sometimes the Ancient Digimon are also used as kind of like ultra levels, so we have seen AncientGarurumon digivolve from Metal Garurumon before, and if you prefer that, that's fine. Consider AncientGarurumon digivolving from Metal Garurumon, AncientGreymon digivolving from War Greymon. Personally though, I prefer them as mega levels. AncientIrismon is where things get a little bit more different. AncientIrismon of course has a connection to birds, Birdman, and Fairy Digimon, and there aren't really any Fairy Digimon per se, aside from Lilymon, so you could connect to Lilymon and Mimi's partner. However, I'm going to connect this specifically to Sora's partner, making the rookie Beatmon. There's no Beatmon X, however, we did make one in a video, so go check that out if you missed it. With the champion being Bergermon. However, we could switch things up a little bit and have the champion be Aquilamon, another common Beatmon evolution, which either way connects us nicely into what I'm going to choose as the ultimate, Sylphimon. I really like that connection between Sylphimon and Jet Sylphimon, the spirit Digimon, and if the ancient warrior, AncientIrismon's data created a Jet Sylphimon, presumably there's some Sylphimon data in here somewhere. And Sylphimon has the ultimate adventure connection, being half Gatomon, half Aquilamon, and Aquilamon's partner Yoli getting her 2 Digi-Eggs from Sora and Mimi. AncientBeatmon, pretty straightforward in my opinion. The rookie can be Tentomon for the adventure reference, though of course Kabuterimon looks like a fantastic Ancient Beatmon Prevo. Digivolving then into Kabuterimon could include some other Kabuterimons, like Tyrant, even though it's a Mega. However, I really like using the blue version of Atla Kabuterimon or Mega Kabuterimon as the Prevo for Ancient Beatmon, just creating a little bit more of that visual anime style cohesion. AncientMegatheriumon is our first major upset. Of course, it connects majorly to Vikemon, but I don't think has as much visual connection to Gomamon, Vikemon's rookie. I will use it though, I like Gomamon here, but the entire Blizzard Fang dim are honestly great contenders too. Blucomon to Frigimon to Pangiamon to AncientMegatheriumon is a ton of fun, but I'm going to stick with Gomamon to Ikakumon, then either Zudomon or maybe Mammothmon. It's an icy woolly Digimon with a great connect. I do kind of wish, given that we have like Skull Balukimon and Balukimon now, we had a Theriamon or a Irismon or a Beetlemon that we could use in these lines, but we don't, so let's continue. AncientSphinxmon, interesting. Out of all of the ancient warriors, this one has more of a connection to Adventure 02, being a Sphinx. The Egyptian theme feeling like a callback to Nefertimon, which is why I think its Prevo should be Nefertimon somewhere. I'm thinking initially its perfect stage could be Bastemon, another Egyptian reference Digimon, then Nefertimon or Gatomon, and finally the rookie being Salamon. I think the corrupted or dark spirits of Frontier is where the allusions to adventure get a little bit more murky. I feel like more so Digimon Frontier used adventure as a leaping off point and then kind of did its own thing as opposed to adhering really strongly to adventure send-ups, so we're going to try and keep them going throughout this video. So yeah, I'm happy with that. AncientSphinxmon, Bastemon, Nefertimon, and Salamon, or Gatomon as the champion. AncientMermaimon is really where our adventure homages start to fall through. I'm a big fan of the line being Shakomon to Dolphinmon, and then regular Mermaimon, one of the few Digimon we have that have the same name as an ancient warrior, without ancient in it obviously. Though you could also use Gomamon as the rookie in this instance, kind of hinting to the more aquatic side of Gomamon, the line that it sometimes has ending in Plesiomon, so maybe use Gomamon twice here, or use Blucomon for AncientMegatheriumon. Either way, I think Dolphinmon, Mermaimon, and AncientMermaimon, no-brainer evolution line. And another ancient Digimon with a non-ancient equivalent is AncientVolcamon, who is going to digivolve from Volcano Ota himself, Volcanomon. The line from there, though, I get a little bit less sold on. I want to keep the explosive volcanic vibe going, so the initial thought I had was AncientVolcamon from Volcamon, then Meramon, for maybe ending on Candlemon, but I feel like the candle thing is kind of at odds with the geological nature of Volcano, so perhaps Gotsumon could be a rookie. Though if we consider Volcamon the moment that the volcano erupts, and AncientVolcamon being it fully erupting, we can instead go for a more recent Digimon, AncientIrismon, as the rookie, digivolving into Golemon, a common Volcamon Prevo. I say common, it's in a couple of video games, but it's very popular in the fandom, and there's a cohesive enough line to feel like the earth and the rock eventually exploding in volcanic magma. I did also consider AncientVolcamon digivolving from Gogmamon, and then Golemon or Tortamon or something, but I think it's important if we're going to have an ancient Digimon, much like how we have AncientGreymon having Greymon in his line, and AncientGarurumon having Garurumon in his line, we can't not have Volcamon in this line, you know? AncientTroiamon, there is no Troiamon, so I focused in on the wood factor here, and wood and trees and things like that naturally led me back to Palmon, the plant life Digimon of adventure. I did consider Togemon, and I think Togemon could work fine, however instead I want to digivolve Palmon into Woodmon, becoming more of a tree, and this has happened before too, then Woodmon digivolving into Cherrymon, still wild to me that that's an ultimate level, before becoming AncientTroiamon. And obviously visually you can see how that works, there's just plant life becoming wood, that makes sense, but I've actually got a specific way I'm thinking of this, and that is Palmon, the leafy vines, becoming a Woodmon and eventually blossoming into a giant tree, which is then felled and turned into the wooden planks that were used for the Horse of Troy. There's like visual storytelling in this line, and it's also I think the same logic as why Cherrymon often digivolves into Puppetmon. The tree of Cherrymon is felled to become the Puppet Boy. And that finally brings us to AncientWisemon. And again, we have a Wisemon. I love it when that happens, so we have to use Wisemon as its Prevo here, not taking any questions about that, but then that lends itself to a mysticism vibe to the line, and unfortunately there is one adventure featured Digimon that we have not referenced at all in this video. We've got Agumon, Gabumon, Biomon, Tentomon, Gomamon, Salamon/Gatomon, and Palmon, but we haven't been able to use Patamon yet. So I'm going to say straight up, as a little adventure nod, and indeed it was in Frontier 2, Wizardmon will be our Wisemon prev. I just think it makes sense with the connection to Witchelney between the two. It's perfect. The rookie then, yeah, we could go anywhere. Miramon, the Atmon, looks fantastic as an Ancient Wisemon rookie. It's personally the one I'm going to choose, sorry. There's even Ludomon, Ghostmon, Monitormon, all great picks, but maybe we just throw Patamon a bone here. It doesn't feel great. However, I will say, despite how arbitrary that is, Sephirothmon does get compared quite often to biblical angels, and Patamon is the rookie form of Angemon. It's a stretch, but you know, I love stretching. Man who has never stretched in his entire life. I guess we need like an ancient Angemon, so we can round these out. But alright, that is my ideas for the 10 Ancient Warriors evolution lines. Agumon or Agumon X into Greymon or Greymon X, then Rise Greymon into AncientGreymon, Gabumon or Gabumon X, Garurumon X, and WereGarurumon or even WereGarurumon X into AncientGarurumon. In fact, I really like WereGarurumon X there. Also, honorable mention to Psychmon and Garurumon, who also would be fine here. AncientIrismon coming from Biomon and Bergermon or Aquilamon and Sylphimon. AncientBeatmon coming from Tentomon or Kabuterimon into Kabuterimon and the blue Kabuterimon. AncientMegatheriumon coming from Blucomon or Gomamon into Ikakumon, and I'm gonna say Mammothmon. AncientSphinxmon coming from Salamon. I'm settling on Nefertimon and Bastemon. AncientMermaimon coming from Gomamon or Shakomon into Dolphinmon, and then obviously Mermaimon. AncientVolcamon coming from AncientIrismon into Golemon, then Volcamon. AncientTroiamon, Palmon, Woodmon, Cherrymon, really love that one. And ending on AncientWisemon, and I'm gonna settle on Patamon or the Abmon Miramon, Wizardmon, and Wisemon. Of course, these are just my ideas. Let me know yours in the comments down below. I'm just thinking of stuff that's got visual or thematic connection, and I did want to set myself the rule of not using Spirit Digimon, but obviously the Spirit Digimon work beautifully visually if you want to use them. Thank you to my Sovereign, ZDK14 on Patreon. Our other Sovereign, Jaemon, unfortunately got scammed pretty hard. I'm going to leave a link in the description down below if you want to help Jaemon. Would appreciate it. Jaemon has supported this channel very much, so if you want to support him, that would be amazing. If you want to support me on Patreon, did you see the Easter eggs throughout this video? You can do that. I am trying to get up to 100 patrons over on patreon.com/Karn EX, whether those be the $3 all the way up to Sovereigns, $150. But specifically the Deva art bringers, I want to do so many more custom art videos, but the way sponsorships work on YouTube at the moment, I'm trying to lower those, and the way the algorithm works these days, it would be nice to just make custom art videos regardless of how well they perform. So if you want to support my videos like that, the Deva art bringer tier is $60, which is about roughly what a commission costs from an artist. Sometimes it costs like 50, sometimes it costs like 80. You will pay for a piece of custom art at that tier. Every month or so, you will obviously get early access to that video, and you will get the full high quality piece of art posted to Patreon with your and the artist's credit on the image. So please consider doing that if you can. Thank you to everyone else who supports this channel with their hard-earned money. I'll see you next time when we go digital. Bye bye.